Oh, pimp down!
What are you about to do?
Never buy no weed from the gas station, bro.
I mean, I don't think it's necessary.
I hear a lot of people talking about it. I mean, I don't.
No. I mean, I'm already high. How much higher are you trying to get?
Hey, yo, well, DeeKnow, here we are with another video. Let's go!
Hey, what's good, everybody? It's DeeKnow, and we're back again with another video.
Why don't you leave me alone?
Y'all know what it is. I hope everybody's doing well. Let's hop right into it.
For some reason, this comment triggered a chain of thoughts, which sent me down a rabbit hole, and I found some stuff. Before I get into it, you're right. Real food, real people. Are they mocking us? Anyway, since a hamburger is #1 in America, I started off by looking up all the definitions of ham. And #2, the backs of the thighs, or the thighs and buttocks. He squatted down on his hams. What's really bizarre about that, and maybe I'm batshit crazy, but it's served on something called buns, which is a nickname for buttocks. And then I couldn't help but notice what they look like. I can't be the only one who sees it. Is this more mocking? Aside from that, what's strange is it's said that the term hamburger derived from Hamburg, Germany, while others say it originated in the US. Or it's more mockery. Let's talk about chicken. I get it, the breast, the thighs, the legs, the wings, but fingers? Because chickens don't have fingers. And apparently chicken fingers got their name because they resemble a human finger. However, they don't. Is it more mockery? Also notice how in the movies throughout the years, whenever referring to cannibalism, they always say tastes like chicken. Meant to be funny. Maybe not as funny as you think. Might as well jump over to some symbolism over on chicken. I see more double C symbolism in this logo. Maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe the star placement is a coincidence also. Hard to rule out symbolism considering it has this in it too, which is a symbol I've talked about in a previous post. And since we began with what's in fast food restaurants, how about Arby's having this in their window, in our faces?
Alright, come on now. There better not be no people in our chicken we eating out there. Come on now. I like Raising Cane's. That's some good chicken right there. I like Zaxby's. That's good chicken. I don't know about Wendy's and all that though.
I am Abdullah, the successor of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, the successor of the Comforter Ahmed, the successor of Simon Peter, the successor of Muhammad, the successor of Jesus Christ. I am the true and legitimate Pope. I am the proof upon the Christians. I am the son of the Muslims through my father, and the son of the Christians and the Jews through my mother. I am the son of the East through my father, and the son of the West through my mother. I am like Zulkarnain, who with one horn in the East and one in the West, and I am the inheritor of all that lies between. I am more knowledgeable than any false pope, and I am appointed by name in the will of the prophets. My name is also on the tongue of Isaiah, who prophesied of the righteous servant, and he said, he will see his offspring and prolong his days, and the will of the Lord will prosper in his hand.
Oh no, y'all. It sounds like he's trying to pretend to be the Antichrist or something. That's a little creepy. I'm gonna have to look this guy up a little bit.
A majority of Gen Z have an unfavorable impression of Israel. And my friends, I think the reason for that is that we're losing the digital war. Okay, they're getting their information from TikTok and X, whatever it is, and we're losing that war. When you think about it, the masters of the universe are Jews. You know, we've got Altman and AI, we got Zuckerberg, we got Sergey Brin, we got the whole group across the board. Jan Combs, founded WhatsApp. It's us. And we have to figure out a way to win the digital battle. Amelia, we got to get our digital sneakers on so that the truth can prevail over the lies. And when we do that, the future of Israel will be stronger because a majority of all Americans will support Israel. We'll make that happen. We have to make it happen. Thank you. Baruch Hashem. Thanks.
He says, we'll make that happen. I don't know. I don't really have too much to say on that. Just look around and figure out who it is that you're not allowed to insult, and then go from there. Do your own research.
Flat Earth, here we go. You decide. Dangyang Kunsin Grand Bridge in China is 100 miles long, okay? 102.4. There should be like 7,000 feet of curve, right? So why is this not curving? Hold on. Here's a lighthouse on the flat earthers' Earth. Here's a lighthouse on the ball earthers' Earth. Which one makes more sense, really and truly? Here's another one right here, man. This is what we see. Why do we believe this right here? Why? Also, why is it that all these civilizations depicted the Earth looking like this, and then you got NASA? I mean, come on, man. This right here is how the moon was obviously created, they say. A Mars-sized object hits Earth, does this, and makes this. Come on, man. And how about this one right here? Look, you remember that movie up top, dude? Negative 20 degrees Celsius. Negative 4 degrees, negative 454 degrees. Why is it he's frozen and he's not? Oh, wait. Seriously now. Why is it that this on all little globe things, it says globes are not meant for educational purpose, but only decorative purpose? Why would they put that? Really and truly, I'll wait. Now, I'm sure y'all have already talked all kinds of junk and this and that in the comments, but there's no reason for all that, man, okay? Just...
What?
Hey, we're camping in this beautiful state park in Texas, and it's been raining, and the water that's coming out of the sky is blue. And it's not this tarp, because it's happening on this tarp too. Look at that. This is crazy. Are they chemtrailing us in Texas?
So while everyone's making videos about that 100 men versus one gorilla, India and Pakistan, two nuclear powers, border skirmishes flaring up, a fresh wave of extremist crackdowns, cross-border accusations, you know, distraction for distraction's sake. They feed you dopamine snacks so you won't notice the geopolitical dumpster fire roaring just outside the spotlight. Because if you're distracted, you're easier to manage. Bread, circuses, and a mushroom cloud on the horizon. But hey, sip your iced propaganda, scroll past the apocalypse, and remember, ignorance is bliss until the fallout hits.
That's a fudge. Fudge? There's no fudge here.
Bread and circus, bread and circus, bread and circus.
Bread and circus.
Yeah, that's crazy with the blue water, isn't it?
So everybody's freaking out because our American ports are beginning to run a little dry. But what nobody's telling you is the reason why they're looking dry. Because they used to be flooded with Chinese exports. And if our ports here in America are looking dry, could you imagine how the ports in China are looking? Look up the images of all of the ships and all of the cargo containers that are in Shanghai's port alone. You don't have to look at all China. Look at Shanghai ports. Thousands amongst thousands of ships that are disabled because they have nowhere to ship containers to.
Yeah, they are pretty frozen over there. I mean, well, they were. I don't know how they are now. I haven't looked in like a week.
How come we haven't been to the moon in like 50 years? And how come I've seen videos that says we lost the technology to go to the moon? What is the truth about all that?
We sort of initially lost it after the 1970s.
What does that mean? What does it mean to lose the technology?
It's very, very difficult and expensive to build a Saturn V. In those days, in the 60s, I'd say it was right on the edge of our capabilities. It's astonishing that we managed to do it.
Well, they say now that your telephone has more capabilities than what they had in totality to fly to the moon.
Way more. So it was almost too hard. And I remember I got to speak to Charlie Duke, who walked on the moon in Apollo 16, and he said that his dad remembered the Wright brothers' flight. Right, so his dad remembered the Wright brothers and then saw his son walk on the moon. So that's just almost impossible to believe. It was done. The other thing Charlie Duke said is that he said when you've got like 700,000 engineers and unlimited budget, you can do a lot. Right? What they had, right? So that's how they did it. But then, of course, at the time, it was very difficult, very dangerous, and very expensive. And it was one of the great human achievements that we managed to do it. Now, it's a lot less dangerous, a lot cheaper, and we have the technology and the computing power, as you say, to do it rather much more easily. So that's why we're going back now, because it's not, you don't need 700,000 engineers and unlimited budget. You now can do it, SpaceX are pretty close.
Okay.
Wow.
The brain don't have an IQ. The heart don't pump blood. That's what they tell you. That everything they tell you is backwards, right? Let me tell you so you know. Your heart pumps energy through your body, frequencies that come in through your head that they call a brain, and say you have an IQ and you don't got one. Everybody the same smart. Let me tell you what I mean by everybody saying smart. Michael Jackson said this. He wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, song come to his head. I got to record it now, right now, because Prince gonna get it. He understood that we all got the same information available to us that's locked in this firmament. Right? It's just.
He said, I need to record it right now, because Prince gonna get it.
I slept for like maybe 3 hours. I wake up, I immediately tear my fucking toenail off. There's blood everywhere, and I actually had to put a bandage on for this one because of how bad it was. And so then I wake up and I go to the store. I'm about ready to go stream, and I get into my room. This smells like fucking dead rats. God damn it. And so I go into my attic. I fall through the fucking ceiling in my attic. And then I'm sitting there like, this is me. I'm right here, and I'm like, son of a fucking bitch. So I get up immediately after this happens. I do the smartest thing possible. I literally just get up and step over the hole, and I keep doing it, right? I'm still looking. I don't even give a fuck about falling through. I'm like, okay, I'm like doing this. I'm like, okay, I can move my legs, move my arms. All right, well, nothing's broken. I'm fine. And so let's just keep going.
What a wild guy. I just don't understand. He's filthy rich, by the way. I don't.
Dates in 60 seconds. So after days of the federal prosecutors talking about how one of their witnesses is just incommunicado and went completely missing, they are now admitting that she never wanted to testify or be involved in this case at all whatsoever. So that makes a lot more sense, but they did subpoena her. She's been subpoenaed to a federal trial, and if she doesn't show up, she could get in trouble. They do have their star witness though, and this is Cassie Ventura, and just look at how pregnant she is. Now, if you combine the sympathy that a pregnant woman gets from any type of jury with the video that they have of Diddy just brutalizing her in that hallway of that hotel, you can smell Diddy being cooked from here. And on Friday, they'll be doing their final jury selections. They have already narrowed it down to 45 people, so now they just have to narrow it down to who's going to be the 12 actual jurors and the alternates from there. The thing that I find really fascinating is that they have chosen mainly male jurors, like the vast majority are men. And 50 Cent just posted his dream team of the jurors he'd like to see there, and I, for one, would absolutely love to see this. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, man, that trial is gonna get crazy.
I have the truth. But one thing is, you have volunteered to testify at the trial, correct?
Not as of yet. Actually, I was subpoenaed.
Okay.
So my attorneys worked something out. So I believe when the time is right, I'm going to discuss it with my attorneys.
But you're willing to?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I was ignored. There was the most expensive PR campaign against me to shut me down. If you actually knew what they did to me, there was a bounty on my head. There was a bunch of stuff.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up.
See what I mean?
I told y'all CERN letting out shit. Watch the sky. What the fuck is that?
What is that? Am I tripping?
Nah, you're not tripping. I saw that too. I don't know what that was. Looked like them things out of Harry Potter.
One thing that all conspiracy theorists have in common, all of them, is they already know the answer that they want. And where they don't have data to support it, they invoke a cover-up. And that enables them to gap across places that they cannot otherwise support with data. I had a friend who, a full-grown man, otherwise rational, said to me, I've read the websites that doubt that we landed on the moon, and they're pretty convincing to me. But if you tell me that we landed on the moon, I'll believe you. And I said, it has nothing to do with my authority over information about what you should believe. It was interesting because he respected me enough that my simple statement would over. I asked him, what evidence do you seek that would have you believe that we landed on the moon? He said, well, if we had photos of the landing sites, because you can't do that from Earth because through the atmosphere, the resolution is not fine enough to see that. But the Japanese have sent satellites that orbited the moon and reconnaissance satellites. I said, there's this satellite, and 4 years ago, whenever I had this conversation with him, it got images, and you can see the landing site, you can see the tracks from the rover, and you can see all right? And he said, okay, so he goes. And the next day, he said, Neil, I saw that website, but I noticed that the NASA logo was also on that website, along with the JAXA, all right? And so I don't know if I can trust it. I said, you asked me what evidence would convince you. I just presented you that evidence, and you're not convinced. There's nothing more this conversation can do.
But if all the evidence also looks tampered with, then I also don't know what to say. So, come on, man.
Remember, you all are already hybridized. You all have Anunnaki DNA in all of you. And the Anunnaki themselves were mixed, were hybridized. This is one of the reasons why you actually have so many different races on your planet. You all started out similarly, but as soon as you moved into different environments, the different extraterrestrial genetics mixing with the Homo erectus genetics within you activated in different environments to be something similar to the planets that DNA came from. Make sense?
Yes.
I guess, but you still sound like a wackadoodle with a lot of the stuff that you're saying. I'm gonna need a whole lot more of that guy to really make a judgment. Now that was pretty cool.
Yo, before your memory was wiped clean, and before you came into this realm, into this earth, onto this planet, onto this world, you made an agreement with your higher self to not release you your riches until you get your act together. Hoo-wee, hear me out, fam, hear me out. It's gonna get good, fam. Yo, some of y'all over here sitting waiting on the Most High, and the Most High's over here waiting on you. Woo! Hear me out, fam. Hear me out. Before coming into this realm, chosen one, you were a celestial being, and you decided to accept the mission as a chosen one on this planet to help raise the vibration and the frequency of this simulation, of this realm, whatever you want to call it. You agreed upon this mission. And you told yourself, no one else, you told yourself, I'm not gonna release my riches to myself until I get my act together. Because I know that if I release my riches to myself before I get my act together, those riches might be detrimental to me and the rest of the planet. Oh my goodness, hear me out, fam. Hear me out. You told yourself, until I leave all vices behind and I start walking like Christ, I do not want my riches to be given to me. So your riches, your wealth, is being held right now by your higher self, by your orders. I know, sounds crazy. It's not going to be for everybody, because some people want to believe that they were created by something else. And cool, this is for my chosen people. My peoples, I'm telling you right now, you got to get your act together, because you're the one holding your riches from you. You told yourself, until I stop all the vices and until I stop doing all these sins, until I get my act together, do not release me my riches. And some of you be like, man, this is not true because I'm sober. I haven't done anything. Bro, it could have been something, you know what it is. Raise your frequency so you can know what that is. It could be some certain types of foods that you told yourself, I don't want my riches until I stop eating animal flesh. Because remember, in order to be a God body, you can't feed a live body with a dead body. You understand what I'm saying? Shout out to Aver for that one. But I'm telling you right now, in order for you to get your riches, and I'm not saying it's that. I'm not saying it's animal flesh, because remember, we all have separate missions. Some of us can eat certain things, others of us can't. So that's for you to figure out. That's for you to raise your frequency so you can align yourself and get the information from your higher self, from the Most High, so that you can know what is it that you told yourself that you needed to fix in order for the universe, your higher self, to release you your riches that is bestowed upon you before birth. Woo! Hear me out, fam. Y'all over here waiting on the Most High. Y'all over here praying when, and the Most High's over there like, I'm waiting on you, fam. I'm waiting on you, fam. You gave the orders. You wanted this. You understand what I'm saying? So, just to be clear, remember what I said. Some of y'all are not going to get your riches and your wealth sent to you that is divinely yours. You're not going to get it sent to you until you get your act together. Hope this helps. Love y'all.
If I was gonna join the Illuminati, I would've. Don't get me wrong, I would've. But I would've did it back then, before all my niggas went to prison. To me, it was like, yo, you mean if a nigga get a certain amount of money, you gotta say it was a spiritual being. The devil came and gave him the bag.
Destroy the child, corrupt them all.
Like, man, I was so proud the first time I heard a nigga told me I was Illuminati. I swear to fucking God, I wanted to drink champagne and roll up some weed, and I finally made it, bitch. I'm above you stupid motherfuckers. If I knew the Illuminati was gonna pull up to my fucking house and zap niggas and you walk out to 100 million, sign me up, I'm all with it.
There you go, some more of that music industry BS. You know what they say. If you see it, it's there. And what do they have to do in order for it to work? They gotta show you.
I say we keep moving. Tyrell waits for his moment and drives inside.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, especially like I've been saying the last few videos with that $21 trillion supposed budget they were spending on underground infrastructure.
Humans actually biologic AI. Now, stick with me here because this is a really scary thought, but we're going to go down the rabbit hole. And if you're willing to suspend disbelief for a moment, I think it might actually help open you up to the true you. Check this out. So human beings and all of the ancient myths were either made of clay or made of some sort of substratum and then mixed with the living part of the extraterrestrial gods or the Elohim or the Anunnaki or whatever you want to consider these original beings that created humanity. Now, we know from the biblical mythos, this is just attributed to God. But again, as we dig deeper in antiquity, we understand that there's many, many pantheons of gods and different cultural agreements on who is the most high God, etc. So as we dig into this and we understand what we're able to create now as artificial intelligence, then that begs the question, is all of this meat suit that we live in, is it merely a biological artificial intelligence that is operating a spirit or a true consciousness through this mechanism? That changes the game, my friends. Let me know what you think.
That's an interesting thought, that we are ourselves just artificial intelligence, which, I mean, you know, like he was saying, there's a lot of things that kind of show we are some kind of biological supercomputers, or say like flesh and bone versions of the Terminator, because we have electrical signals all through our brain that tell us what to do. And there's just so many other things that, I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave some comments below. Whoa, bro. No way. That's nuts.
That's why you need to be careful what music you listen to. Because if music can get rid of a demon, it can attract one. And most of the music out here now attracts demons. Then you wonder why your lifestyle, you're grooving and bumping in the car, but when you get out, you can't wait to figure out why your life is standing still. Sometimes it's the music that you're listening to, because whoever you listen to, what's on them attaches itself to you. Rick Joyner said he was in a vision. The Lord told him, he said in the last days, he said the enemy will bring up singers and other musicians, he said, and they will baptize millions of people into the demonic in one moment. Whoever you accept, you get what's on them. I reject a whole lot of stuff. So I reject stuff in the world. Unfortunately, I reject a lot of stuff in what we call church. You know, not all gospel music is gospel.
This is something we emphasize over and over on this channel, because some of the spiritual battles you face are not visible. They are spiritual. Music is spiritual, and the devil often uses it to influence and deceive.
Exactly what he just said, because I agree 100%.
There's an edge over there.
Wow, that place is huge, man. I showed a little bit more of it in the last video. What in the Fallout and Destiny 2 are we looking at?
Is it true that when you were entering the initial stages of your music career, you were scared and didn't want to because of the Illuminati?
Yes. How you know? Bro, I was really scared, bro. Like, because as a kid, I'm watching conspiracy theories. They like, oh, Tupac did this. He sacrifices this and that. Kanye West did this and that. I'm like,
somebody might have to go.
Yeah, bro. I love my family. You know, I kind of just started making music. and then it just happened. Wow.
So what have you sacrificed then?
Nothing. I mean,
so how'd you get in? Very successful in the music industry. Is the Illuminati real?
I don't think so. Maybe I'm just not lit enough and I ain't get to see it yet, but I haven't seen nothing yet. I don't even...
He said, I ain't seen nothing yet.
Beneath the sands of Egypt, a mystery is unfolding that could rewrite history as we know it. Italian researchers claim they've used advanced radar technology to detect vast underground structures beneath the Khafra pyramid. Structures so deep they might form an entire hidden city. But not everyone is convinced. Some independent experts argue that the technology used couldn't possibly scan that far down, calling the claims exaggerated. Filippo Bionde, one of the scientists leading the research, is setting the record straight. Speaking with Daily Mail, he explains that their method isn't based on traditional radar scanning. Instead, they collect acoustic data from beneath the Earth's surface, measuring seismic waves, noise from human movement, and even photon interactions. These signals are then analyzed using advanced techniques like Doppler centroid shifts, which reveal distortions in frequency patterns that indicate underground formations. And the results? Well, stunning. They mapped a network of descending wells, each stretching over 2,000 feet below the surface, connected by staircases that lead to massive rectangular enclosures. At the center of it all is what could be a long-lost water system, potentially feeding into even deeper hidden structures. Some believe these chambers could be linked to the legendary Hall of Records, a mythical archive said to contain knowledge from ancient civilizations. While no hard evidence of this archive has surfaced yet, ancient Egyptian texts, including chapter 149 of the Book of the Dead, describes underground residences beneath the pyramids, leading some to believe this could be the lost city of Amenti. Even more astonishing, recent analysis suggests that these structures may be as old as 38,000 years, predating known Egyptian civilization by tens of thousands of years. The Book of the Dead not only describes these underground chambers, but also accurately details the location of the pyramids, raising further questions about what else might be accurate from its accounts. According to the text, the pyramids themselves were built to seal off this underground city, hinting at an ancient effort to conceal something of great importance. Currently, human civilization is said to only go back around 6,000 years, but the Italian researchers argued that a cataclysmic event wiped out this ancient civilization, forcing survivors to go underground to escape Armageddon. This, they suggest, could explain the underground water system that is still running today. The researchers are determined to keep exploring, hoping to uncover more proof that could connect their findings to Egypt's most mysterious legends. Could this be the discovery that finally confirms the existence of a lost civilization beneath the pyramids? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, the story is far from over, because...
Well, I don't know about that one. That's pretty cool, you know, if they do find like a whole underground city and a whole bunch of underground caverns with stuff in it. That would be really awesome and all. But I don't know that it was like that intricate or anything. You're gonna have to show me. Like, I'm gonna need to see it to believe it. And like all those AI clips weren't helping me believe it, man.
She kept running away from. If you're going to say that our goal here is to degrade us, Murray conceded you probably can't eliminate them, but he feels like you can degrade them. If you're going to degrade us, and the cost of it is those little children dying under rubble, screaming for their mother as their bones are crushed and no one's coming to help them, then fine. But at least say that you find that price acceptable. And then we could have a real conversation about why people are going to view you as a monster and why the other side will never stop fighting and will always be against you. Because I could tell you for sure, if that was my kids, and I know, Pierce, if those were your kids as well, you wouldn't want to hear anything about how, well, we've codified in international law that this is the norm of the way wars are allowed to be fought. No, but I dropped a leaflet. No, I didn't really want to kill them. I just wanted to kill them. We go, I don't care. You blew up a building knowing there were kids in there. That's the essence of this whole thing.
Child participant in DARPA's Project Pegasus, which was the U.S. time-space program at the time of the emergence of different forms of time travel in the U.S. defense technical community. It's been concealed from the American people that time travel existed as the secret twin, essentially, of Project Manhattan, the atomic bomb project. Because at the time that Project Manhattan was being formulated, and some of the world's leading physicists and engineers were being settled in Los Alamos, New Mexico, to develop the atomic bomb, Nikola Tesla's papers from his apartment in the New Yorker Hotel in Manhattan, New York, that had been seized by the War Department upon his death on January 7th of 1943, were forwarded by the president from the National Archives to Los Alamos, and they're still there. But Nikola Tesla's papers were never lost. 25 years later, by 1968, the U.S. defense community had pioneered Tesla teleportation, which is the capability to open up a vortal tunnel in time-space through which somebody can pass. And by the fall of 1970 had found a way to adjust the time of the arrival of the individual via teleportation, backward or forward in time. So I was brought in to Project Pegasus as a child participant officially in the fall of 1969.
You should go read about that, do a little of your own research, because you should never just trust what you see in these videos. Just go read about it and go look it up for yourself.
If you're new here, I usually talk about some pretty scary stuff, but this one, it feels like something straight out of a horror movie, except it's happening in real life. Right now, across southern New England, 8 sets of human remains have been discovered. Yo, scattered across Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts, the victims are both women and men, but here's the disturbing part. Police are still claiming none of these cases are connected, but when locals looked at the map, pattern was impossible to ignore. The locations formed a chilling trail across the region. Residents are terrified, and for good reason. People are flooding TikTok and Facebook warning there's a serial unaliver targeting people in New England, and the evidence keeps piling up. One body was discovered near Framingham Cemetery. The victim, identified only as a woman in her 40s to 60s, was found in a horrifying condition. In another case, a suitcase filled with human remains was discovered in Groton, Connecticut, and authorities still haven't identified her. This is a crazy case, and we're talking about the New England Serial 2025 case. 8 bodies, 0 arrests, and a growing fear that serial unaliver is still out there now.
That's wild. I don't know anything about that or that case that he's talking about, so I'm gonna go look that up and try to find out some more information about all of that for future videos. But that's wild. Alright everybody, that's all we've got for today. Hope you had a great time chilling and watching these videos. I know I had a great time chilling and watching these videos. I hope everybody has a great rest of your afternoon, evening, morning, day, whatever it might be for you. Until next time, peace.
Now I know what's real and what